Yo, what's going on? If you're a music producer, this is gonna help you out a lot, so don't go anywhere. My mixes used to suck. Let's get to the point. My mixes used to suck really bad. My beats used to sound really thin and airy, and I couldn't get that warm feel, and how just I couldn't get my 808s to hit, couldn't get my kicks to knock, I couldn't get anything right. My beats sounded like they were whipped up at the Cheesecake Factory, and I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory because they don't have them over here in London as far as I know. If they do have those in London, let me know in a comment down below or something. But I bet you've been through the same thing, right? I bet your beats are not sounding how you want them to sound, or maybe you just want to speed up your mixing process. Either way, this is going to help you out a lot, and here's the reason why. I spent over 10 years learning the principles behind mixing and mastering, experimenting and testing. I even went to uni for 1.5 years before I dropped out and learned about mixing and mastering there, but most of it was self-taught on the internet and just trying things out and seeing what works and seeing what works in the actual song and then applying that to future songs. But the thing is, you don't have to lose 10 years of your life dedicated to learning about mixing and mastering. Now, it's good to learn about it, but you don't have to spend 10 years doing that, because here's my secret. When I make a beat, I use the same FL Studio template every single time. And what this template does is it helps me get a starting point with my mixing, so I don't have to spend hours mixing my beats. I spend minutes, because when I've finished making the beat, it's already half mixed, because I'm using a template that basically has everything where it should be. And then depending on the beat, depending on the vibe I'm trying to get, I just move certain things up and move certain things down, and I change, certain EQ frequencies that I'm cutting out or whatever. But most things that I need to do are already set up, especially if you can't get your kicks and 808s to knock. I've got a perfect thing that's set up that you can use within this template, and this template has sped up my mixing process at least 10 times over. And the great news is you can get the same template. Yes, you can get the same template that I use for every single beat without spending 10 years learning about mixing and mastering. And you can get your beats smacking and sounding like professional songs, so artists want to buy them. They can't wait to buy them and jump on these songs because they sound like how they want them to sound. They're knocking, they're not sounding thin, they're not sounding airy. You don't have to worry about getting your 808s and kicks to hit. This template will do it for you. This is the best starting point you could ever have. And what you get is an FL Studio template, all this with all the settings that I use to mix and master my beat. And it's instantly downloaded once you purchase this. The link is down in the description if you want to go to the actual product page, but I'm going to walk you through the template now so you can see what's going on and you can kind of get a quick setup guide. Now, I've set up the template with a FL keys in here, so you can set up your melody here with your main melody pad, but everything's named according to the instruments that you're supposed to link to the right mixer track. So here, the main melody pad is linked to the mixer track 1. So let's bring the mixer track over here. And here is the main melody pad, If you don't know who I am, by the way, I'm Jay Carter. I don't think I introduced myself, but here's the main melody pad, and all of these, like the main melody pad, the chord pad, the counter melody, the chorus bells and keys, the chorus top melody, have my preset settings that I would have added to these specific instruments to get them sounding the way that I want to get them sounding. Claps, hi-hats, snares, open hat, perk, 808s, kicks, and even your beat tag. So all of that is set up here. So once you add your instrument, let's say you add a pad or you add a counter melody, then all you need to do is connect it to the mixer. There's 2 ways, well 3 ways to do this actually. There's a bunch of ways. You can click here and then go to the mixer and press Control and L, and that will link whatever track you're selected to whatever mixer track you've selected over here. or you can just select the mixer channel here, which is what I generally do. Like I can just go to 1, which is the main melody pad, and if I had a chord pad here, I'll just bring that down to 2, but this is 808, so let's keep down the 808s. And that's basically how you do it. And the other way to do it is to basically, well, if it's a sample, I believe you can still do this if it's not a sample, but generally you'd only really get to this page through samples. If it's a sample and you open up the sample page, you know, this information box, you can just change it up here as well. You can change the mixer track that it's connected to. So that is how you get your tracks connected to the mixer, which is probably the most important part of this template. And then your beats probably like half mixed. If you're making trap beats, if it's something else, then you might need to mix it a little bit more. But this is perfect for trap beats because it's what I've been using, and pretty much anything, to be honest. But it has, you know, 808s, kicks, that sort of stuff set up. I don't have just normal bass set up, so keep that in mind. We've got 808s. This is what we've got set up right about here. All the ingredients for a trap beat, okay? And all these drums are from FL Studio. Wow, let me put my headphones on. So they all sound mediocre. You got to get your own drums, because I realized if I leave my drums in this template, when you load it up, you won't have my audio files. So when I make a kit, I'll put that out, but I haven't made a drum kit yet. So all you need to do is just drag your samples. So let's say I want to use this clap, drag your sample into the clap, and then as you can see, it's set up on the right mixer track. We can turn this up or we can turn it down. And this is my template that I use. So this does have some paid plugins that you may have to purchase if you haven't got already, but I have made a specific template with only stock plugins that emulates exactly what we've got here. And to be honest, most of what I do with my mixing is EQing, and it's using stock plugins anyways, so you don't really have to worry about that. We've got the kick set up side chains to the 808s EQ, so that the EQ ducks when the kick hits, so that the kick always comes through. We can fiddle around with that to move the EQ to the right place. That's very easy. You just come here, wrong EQ. Well, actually no, that's the right EQ. You just come here and you move this second band where it needs to be, like wherever your kick is hitting most, you move that second band, and that will just duck when the kick hits, and that will have your kick coming through when the 808's hitting as well, and it won't make the 808 like duck in volume, which might sound a little bit weird depending on, you know, what you're doing. So the plugins that you may need to purchase if you don't get the stock template, there is a stock version of this template if you want to grab that, but there's a few plugins. For example, on my clap, I use Neutron 3 Sculptor, so you need to get Neutron 3. And then on my master track, I use Neutron 3 Visual Mixer, which I believe is free on the Neutron 3 website, on Isotope's website, I mean. So you can go and grab that for free and use this. And then we also have Ozone 8, which I use for mastering, which I guess you could just delete this from the template if you're not worried about mastering. And then you could also delete the sculptor and just use the visual mixer, and then you'll get all my levels that I just set up for most of my tracks straight up. If you get the stock plugin, then you won't get all my levels, because my levels are all through the visual mixer. What you will get is all my levels that I generally have on this channel rack, and you'll get all my settings that I have on all these tracks, which is generally just EQ and maybe a Fruity Love filter, depending on what we're doing over here. But it's generally a bunch of EQ, maybe a delay or whatever, but it's usually stock plugins. And then now and again, I'll fling in like a Neutron 3 or whatever. But honestly, in my future templates, we're probably gonna use much more Neutron 3, because I just realized how powerful it is. So yeah, this is the perfect template for you if you're starting out though and you don't want to buy plugins. Remember, there's the stock plugin version of this template. I'll link both of them in the description of this video on YouTube, and if you're on the product page, that will also be linked on the product page. So make sure you get the right one for you, either the stock plugin one or the full version, which has, you know, which we're using Neutron 3 and Ozone in there. So do that, make sure you get the perfect one for you. And that's basically the template, man. I think I've walked you through it. You just add your drums, you add your instruments, and you just link it to the mixer, and Bob's your uncle. Now all you need to do is fiddle around with the different EQs a little bit, but generally everything's done. You know, the low ends are cut off, the highs are boosted, whatever, to achieve the perfect sound that you want to get. Of course, you're going to need to go in there and fiddle a little bit, but this gives you a perfect starting point, and you're going to save so much time doing this than trying to mix from the start every single time you make a beat. And your 808s and kicks are going to be like just pre-set up. I'll give you an example. Look, we'll set that up. I don't know what this 808 does. Like, I just got one from FL Studio, but as you see, when the kick hits, the 808's frequency ducks, so the kick comes through and the 808 still booming. So don't miss out on this deal. The price won't stay the same forever. The price may go up at any time. So if you want to get this template at this price, grab it now. Don't waste any time. Get up and running and start making your beats in less time and getting your mixes sounding instead of sounding like they were cut in half and then cut in half again and then cut in half again, and then they're just super airy and thin. Like, that's not what you want. You want full-bodied mixes, and this template's gonna help you get there. So grab that right now. Link is in the description. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think of this template in the comment section down below, or send me an email after you make your purchase and let me know what you think of the template. Let me know what I should add to it, how I can help make your experience with the template a little bit better. Let me know, because, you know, I want to know that sort of stuff. Peace out. I'll see you next time.